Good morning and hello to another installment of Under Development, my develop pseudo stream series on uh, game development in general. And today, I'm gonna keep trying to have a kind of a topic in mind. Today, we're gonna work with something I've done very little with so far, and that's the Unity style sheets, which are basically Unity's nice way of providing a CSS-like file where you can define how things look visually, and it applies it to all the elements that it finds that are like that. I'm just going to be using it for fonts today, or not fonts, text today, but you can use it for buttons and shit too. But we're going to use that in order to um, highlight, not not highlight like literally with yellow, but we're gonna take parts of our uh, text that's showing up in our matters and indicate that certain parts of it are dialogue, and try to implement that all the way through. Uh, we'll figure out what that is because I'm not sure exactly what I want to actually implement yet, but we'll figure it out on the way. Um, we'll try to do a quick cat check. Cat attendance. Today we have our usual star Jellybean, who is upset that I closed the blinds. And actually, for cat report, let's make this nice and big. Oh yeah, Jellybean's a star. He knows how to use the camera. Hey buddy. Hey. And then let's see, where's his sister at? Juliet, where are you? Oh, Juliet's on the move. I'm not sure what she's after, but oh, got a little bit of a scratch. Hey, baby. Not as interested in being a star on camera. So let's get me snug in that corner again. Whoops. We don't need to see the stuff in the bottom left. I apologize if while I'm actually actively working, I don't really like zooming in on Unity. Plus the editor, the fact that everything is like it also zooms in the gameplay. It makes the game look like garbage. And I kind of need a lot of the space as I'm working on things. So, um, if it's hard to see the text, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Juliet has repositioned herself to the cabinet, but in doing so, she opened the freezer on her way up. But the freezer luckily closed itself, so I don't have to get up. So yeah, if things are hard to read, I apologize. Um, but yeah, we're gonna do some actual. We're gonna work with some coding and the Unity today, so we'll be kind of bouncing between the editor and Visual Studios. Also, I'm gonna continue with what I did last time. Not gonna provide music. You can provide your own. Uh, I, for one, am listening to a Japanese band called Alice Nine. Um, this is some of their older stuff, but they they started off as Alice Nine. That's a pretty okay stuff. Then they switched to A9. Um, and I think these were some of their best albums, like Jingan Wodo and Ideal. Two very good albums. And now they're Alice Nine again, so I don't know what's up with all that, but um okay, so let's let's play the game first, kind of define what our goals are. What am I trying to accomplish? So I have a good direction to go off of. So if you missed out on the second episode of this series, we remade the matters menu. And this is I don't remember exactly where I ended that video, but this is kind of the final-ish product, at least the first draft product came up with. Um, and now that I've got the dialogue kind of building in a log here, it's not all dialogue. The matter text, the body, building a log here. Um, I want to do a couple things with it. One, I want any text in here to look different if it's actually spoken versus narrated at you. I don't think I'm gonna do like Baldur's Gate does, where like the narrator has a voice and it's so like everything is technically being spoken to you. Because I'm not gonna do. I would do that if I was gonna do voice acting and voiced lines in the game, but I don't think we're doing that. That would be a very big stretch at the end, stretch goal kind of thing. Um, but like for example, and this is the one we're gonna work with today as our test case. This line: the farmers are asking for more help to bring in the harvest ere it freezes. Um, that's third person. We could make it, farmer. Me lord, we need more help to bring in the harvest ere it freezes. See, this is why we're not going to voice anything. That was garbage. But, no reason I can't turn that into a dialogue line. And then the thing I want to play around with on that one is, you see here I've done something with your advisor. He's got like a little speech bubble that comes up. Not sold on the blue, but so part of me is wondering, do I want to, when the farmer is asked for more help, do I also want him to have a speech bubble that says that and then goes away once he is done talking, you know? So not sold on the speech bubble part. But we're going to start with, how do I make text dynamically, different in here in a stable way that works with how I'm setting my matters up. So I'm going to highlight a plan, and then I'm going to do a little work, and we'll come together. I think probably the best way to think or to talk about the plan is just the journey the text goes on. So this text, the farmer is asking for more help. That's coming from here. And I can zoom in on the text here to help out. I'm not cut. I could move myself over here, but like that's annoying to keep switching back and forth. What am I covering in Unity? Okay, let's leave myself over here actually. I'd rather cover up less in code today. So that's coming from here. This is the farm needs help matter file. These are the JSON files that actually hold each matter that happens in the game. And it defines how it all works. So you can see it has the title, the dialogue that happens, whether you're going to be making a choice or not. Basically defines everything. And then for every option, who's your advisor? If you accept that option, what things happen? Oh, you reassign some guards to farms, and next turn the meeples will have some thoughts for you. We don't need to worry about all this right now. We're just going to use this as an example, and hopefully whatever we make will be extensible to anywhere that I'm writing text that will be displayed. Because that's goal number one. This needs to be extensible and not specifically, and not work just for dialogue. This is actually kind of a bad example one, because here we go. And I think the way we're going to accomplish it is we're going to piggyback off of some logic I already made, where any text that I display, I've got this set up where if I need to dynamically look up a name, because I'm going to let you change the names of people, like House Carlbridge might be House Poo Poo Face, or House Purple Elephant. Purple Elephant's my usual go-to for absurd references. So I need to be able to dynamically look up names. So when I'm about to display this text, I push it through a function that checks like, hey, do I see the @ symbol anywhere in here? If I see that, I know that this is a string replacement variable. I don't know what the right word is. And then it basically splits on underscores and says, oh, okay, the first name, the first spot is the function name you're calling. And then based on that, I need 3 parameters, which house you're looking up, what position in that house, and then for that person, what format should the name be in. With title is like title last name. So house player leader would be like Lord Penguin if you use the name Sugoi Penguin. So I think we can do something similar, where we come up with some formatting so that when this is read by the game, it knows I need to replace some stuff. So great. I can put that there. I need to be able to, where is this getting read then? We'll need to update. So step 1 is come up with whatever syntax I'm thinking of would be convenient to use here or anywhere that I have text displaying. Step 2 is we need to update the code that actually is reading that text. And so that would be our matter menu. And so this is the code for that. And I'm going to look and find in here. I got a lot of to-dos, you can see. Ooh, I did a couple of these to-dos. I added the Xbox. Did not do those 2 things, so. Ooh, we did fade in and out a HUD in the background. Okay. We're technically doing this one. Determine how we can switch fonts and now manage who is talking. That's what we're doing today. Got a lot of the button functions. There's a function in here. Calc options text. So in here, I call this pretty early, I think. Yeah, in the setup menu function, which I call first things first after the menu exists in the hierarchy. We calc the options text so that we can find any of those name replacements and come up with new stuff. So, for example, if the title or the dialogue has any of those, we call this calculate string replace function. It's just the function I told you about. It looks for the @ sign, splits things up. Do a little handling just in case it's like there's like a punctuation after the word. But then yeah, we figure out what the value is going to be, and then we just replace it within the string and pass it back. So want to do something similar, and actually probably something in this function. So we'll start with, what am I doing? If I'm making a list of things I need to do, let's just get a document going here. I can see, I'm starting to see now why Pirate Software, why he likes to use Paint, because that's more, it's a little more artistic and dramatic, but dramatic? Interesting? Okay. Step 1, syntax in matter.json files for looking up, or for calling out dialogue. Step 2 is update At a glance, I don't think the menu needs to be updated at all because all this is doing is it's taking the text we're going to display and it's calculating what it should be replaced by. So currently, I don't see a need to update this yet. Um, but we'll update this. Calculate string replace. Oops, I'm accidentally opening GIMP. Update. Update the string replace to handle. Get out of here, GIMP. To handle the syntax from step one. Um, and the plan is so I said this episode is going to be about USS, the Unity style sheets, and I haven't even mentioned the style sheets yet. Um, and so step 3 is going to be build out style sheet to define what spoken dialogue looks like. Because what we should be able to do, and I think, are we still debugging right now? Or not debugging, we're running? Okay, so like what we can do, I think, is let's go find the matter display. Let's go find a text that is displaying right now. You can see there's a pretty hefty hierarchy going on here. So for example, what we can do in here is it's just like HTML. I think like bold is one. No, bold. Is it just B? Yeah. So like we can use these tags. Ah, to do stuff, and you can see now, farmers are asking is bolded. So we can build styles in our style sheet that handle changing the rich text where we want it. And so as long as the matter calc applies those that syntax to the dialogue, then when the dialogue gets pushed into the TextMaster Pro component, Unity will handle the rest. And so we just need to have the corresponding style sheet ready. And we'll show off how all that works. Hopefully. I think I understand it, but we'll find out. And then step 4, consider, do we want the speech bubble? And we might play around with that, but this is a maybe. This is more of a not a physically can we do it? I may be on it as far as like a game design decision. Okay, so that's the plan. I'm gonna work on step 1 for a bit here. You're gonna probably get sped up video, and then I'll come back and we'll resume. So. Okay. So I put together 2 ideas here. So this line that I'm highlighting here, this is the kind of the end goal. And I chuckled because I pulled up a example from Baldur's Gate to just see like how do they highlight who's talking. And so like here we have Gale. So it's like Gale colon space text, no quotes around it. Interestingly enough, I think this is an older. I don't know if this is from the beta, but or somebody customized their game, but this is this is a suave Gale. Look at the flowing hair, the mustache. So I don't know, but like, um, yeah, as far as I could tell, when it's a character, it's name colon text, no parentheses. Um, I don't know. Yeah, so just thought that was funny. Uh, so actually, I don't want the quotes. The only reason I could see wanting the quotes is like, what if I have like multi-line? It'd be nice to indicate when they're done talking and I switch back to the narrator. But it's not a narrator. It's just kind of like what you're. It's. I guess it is kind of a narrator. Baldur's Gate 3's got it so nice. They have a built-in narrator as the dungeon master kind of thing. Anyway, so let's not do quotes. The end goal will not have quotes, and we'll see how that works. And I think each line, if I have multi-line, I'll just keep tagging person on the front. So my first thought was like, okay, we'll do something very similar. If there's an @ sign, we'll have, and actually, if I was going to truly follow the template that I already established with the name stuff, it would be dialogue underscore, because I was splitting on underscores. So the first one is the function name, then who, and then their dialogue. And here's so the problem with that pattern is the spaces, I think. Because if I do the blah blah blah, I guess the spaces aren't a problem if the entire line is dialogue spoken by a character. Because then I'd be like, oh, there's an @ dialogue. This whole string is dialogue. Wrap the whole thing. Um, but I think that's restrictive and also would be kind of annoying to handle in the code. Because like, what do I string replace? The string replace gets a little sloppy then. So I don't think we're gonna follow the same just because the spaces kind of screw up that. Oh, hey baby. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but he wants me to throw his ball. Ah, you know, at first I would have been like, nah, we don't want to include things like this in my development series because it's not development. But hey, this is the life of a solo dev at home. You gotta throw your cat's ball occasionally. Anyway, so I think the fact that this isn't a single string with no spaces, I don't like this method. So I'm not gonna follow that same exact pattern. So what if what if I do it more like a function? Parentheses, um, and then comma delimited. This looks very natural. Problem is now if I have a comma in my what the character's saying, all hell breaks loose. So I don't like that. And also, if I'm not going to follow the same template, I'm going to run into issues where this logic breaks down because I have an @ and I'm splitting on in this calculate operand function, I'm splitting on somewhere somewhere I'm splitting on underscore. And so I don't think I want to do the same in order to avoid breaking other stuff, I don't think I'm going to use @ here. So then, as far as other possible special symbols, I like pound right now because I don't think I would ever use that in game. So we'll use the pound sign. which for my Zoomers out there, that's the hashtag, I guess. And then because I have everything in parentheses, I know that the entire string between the parentheses is my parameters, and I can split the parameters on underscore. Because underscore I don't think will ever be in dialogue. Um, so I like that. And so this could be how we identify we've got dialogue in our strings. You know, check for a hashtag dialogue. If you found it, great. Everything after that, get the substring between, from parenthesis to parenthesis, and then split on underscore. Now you've got your who is talking, and you've got your dialogue text. And then the string replace at the end of the day is everything between hashtag and close parenthesis, and we'll spit out something that the end goal target will be something like this with like style equals you know uh I guess something like that, and then we'll have like close brackets on this side, obviously. So this will be what gets spit out and fed straight to the um rich text box. So I think we've got step 1 down. Check. So now we're gonna go and update the matter calc string replace, and yeah, we'll see how that goes, and I will chime in after we make a little bit of progress there, or maybe I'll get too chatty and we'll have almost nothing to speed through. I don't know. Still learning how this series goes, but I do need to find my file. We'll start there. Also, gotta throw the ball for the cat, but I can't find it, so just a moment. Okay. Cat's handled. Snuck in a bathroom break while you weren't looking. Getting used to it. OBS has this nice little pause feature that I never tried before. I'd always stop video, start video, and have to stitch the videos together. That's slick. Okay, let's get some coding in. Okay, so we're gonna try to do a little hashtag dialogue stuff. Come on, Spotify. I need that space. There you. Damn it. I moused over it too quick, and it was like, "Oh, you want to do something?" No, I do not want to do something. Okay. Oh, I got cat hair on my mouse. There we go. Okay, so matter calc. Here we go. Calculate string replace. Text comes in. If it contains @ do this stuff. So let's do while the text contains hashtag. Let's see. We identify the length so we can get the substring. Yeah. I think we want to do the same thing. This time index of hashtag. Am I gonna want to handle different functions here? You know what? Maybe we will. Maybe we will. Um, and I called these dynamic operands before because it was just the whole thing is just a value. So maybe I want to call these something a little different. Maybe dynamic styles? Yeah, we'll think on that. Okay, so this is going to be the begin index, end index. Uh, the last character should be a quote, a parenthesis in this case. Um, the dynamic operands at the end of the text. In this case, I should always have an end index. Um, so if this is, I think we actually want to throw an exception this time. Missing close parenthesis on dynamic. What do we get? What should we call this? Dynamic string function? And then we can spit out the text. There we go. The future me will probably be quite thankful that's there. Okay. And then we want to get the string. Yeah. And then what did clean operand do? Do we need to call this? What was the point? Oh, the point of this is what I said earlier, where like if our name in like our dynamic operand, so this whole thing is just supposed to be one thing. If there was like a natural comma in that text, this is supposed to clean it off because our substring went from at sign to space. And so if we, for this one, if that comma was there, we would be including it, but that throws the logic off, so we have to clean that off. Because we're going from hashtag to parenthesis, though, I don't think we need to. I don't think we need to clean operands. We don't need that logic, at least. Because that logic will actually break things. Because parentheses, all these things could be in our character's dialogue. So do not call that. So at this point, function should, I'm going to maybe delete this. Our expectation with our in our example case, function is that whole thing. Because we begin index is that, yeah. And I have a cat digging in the blinds now. Very offended. Oh, nope. Getting inside the blinds. I usually never have those blinds closed except for when the light's too bright on my face for filming purposes, but let's see if she gets some. Oh, Jellybean's gonna come help. Oh, jeez. Oh, no. Oh, my poor blinds. Cat, how's it going up there? Did I do that? Oh man. I'm gonna I'm gonna fix something quick. Okay, well, My face is gonna be a little washed out on this side because the compromise my cat and I reached is we just moved the blinds. Okay. Yeah. So we've got our function. Um. Let's go ahead and let's calculate our chunks of it. So function name. Let's actually substring. If we do begin index +1, that shaves the pound sign off. And then if I do, and we might be cleaning this up later, but if we do an array then of strings, this can be actually I'm seeing we don't need this anymore. So we can actually take this dot and then split it on right? Because that's going to give me my two chunks. It's going to get me my function name on one side, everything else on the other. Oh, but that's going to include the closed parentheses. So let's actually um uh, this is getting a little sloppy here. Because if I move the start of this, that's actually gonna oh, screw. I don't want to move it in here. So let's do that and then end index to trim off pound sign and whoops, close parenthesis. And then we'll also let's do one more error check. Oops. While we're here, if what am I trying to do here? Actually, no, we'll do the error check down here. Oh, we need to give it a name. Function parts. And then we don't need this anymore. Oh, we're assign. It's just saying that we haven't used it yet. So we can simplify this now. I don't need the +1 because I did it up there, and then I trimmed that off. I think this will work. We'll debug this real good. And usually, if I'm going to do that, I put a to do in here so that if I forget to actively debug, visually confirm, you know. So a quick error handling if function parts dot length is not equal to 2, we can throw new exception. because we have an unexpected array length. Dynamic string function. I'm gonna call them dynamic string functions in my head. Dynamic string functions has wrong number of parentheses. And then, just like before, we'll spit out the text that came in. Okay. So now at this point, I don't know if we'll need these as variables, but we know the function name is function parts 0, and then we know the parameters which actually we can split the parameters right away too. Function parameters hard to spell is actually equal to function parts 1, but we're going to split that on, what were we splitting it on? We were going to split on underscore. Because the first part's going to be name and second part. Ooh, let's not do underscore. Let's do semicolon. Logic here is, for the name, I'm going to want to be able to do similar to this, where it's a dynamic name lookup. But the dynamic name lookup logic is all based around underscores. So I don't want to split on that because I just want to use the same syntax here so I'm not juggling too many syntaxes as I have to write all this content. So let's do semicolon. We'll split on the semicolon. Whoop. Oh, I gotta put it in quotes. There we go. Oh, and then this needs to be an array. There we go. Okay. Okay, good. Good. Now, um, let's do, we can do a switch statement on the function name. And, oh, am I going to get the syntax right on that? I never get syntax on switch statements right the first time. Is this where the colon goes? Yes! Oh! We got it! We did it! It's a successful day of programming. I got a switch statement without Googling it. Oh! And if this fails later on, oh, it will fail because I want to do, that's right, to lower. Whoo! Great catch there. And then we can throw in a little light error handling. Unhandled dynamic string function name. Whoop, gotta append it. Function name. Okay, so far so good. So we got to a point in the code where we've hopefully parsed out everything, and we can now actually do some code to figure out what the heck we're replacing. Which I'm now seeing a problem with us messing with the begin and end index earlier is when it comes time to do the string replace, it was nice to have the full string from hashtag. It would be nice to have the full string from hashtag to close parenthesis because that's everything's going to need to be swapped out because the rich text box does not know what to do with that. Um, so similar in the at situation. Oh, I can do that pretty easy. The string, dynamic string function. Um, we'll just call it string function. Uh, Similar to this one, we, yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, great. There we go. Substring can be simplified? How so? Use a range operator. Hmm. I've never seen this syntax before. No, I wanna try it out. Yeah. Hmm. Not gonna lie, this is a little less intuitive. Because this makes it look like updated text is an array. But I suppose that is just what a string is. It's just an array of characters. Hmm. I'm making stuff up to kind of justify the logic in my head. Um. So let's just put in the framework so we don't forget. Um, we'll be returning. Um, oh no, we're not returning anything yet because we got to get to the. We got to do the value swaps. Um. Oh, this is gonna work out really nice, actually. Oh, I'm more happy with this than I realized because we'll just do updated text equals updated text dot nope updated text dot replace um old value was it set no old value is the string function and we're going to replace it with value. Wait, what? Why are you upset? Use of unassigned local variable value? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, we'll get there. No, you know what? Keep your error because value will get set in here somewhere. Yeah. Okay, so dialogue. Woo. Fast cat. Um so here we go. And this I might formalize later with some proper values. But let's make a string builder actually. I like string builders. If you've never used them, they are a slightly more efficient way to build concatenate multiple strings together. Um, so we're gonna start very first thing we need to do is we need to wrap our text in the style. And I'm actually gonna pull up. Let's see. Supported rich text tags. There we go. We're gonna do a style. Apply a custom style to the text, and this is what we're gonna define. We'll define what the style is in the Unity style sheet later. So we're gonna first off append oops, style. Oop, nope, gotta have that style equals. Can I just do single quotes? Let's find out actually quick. Ooh. None of this is gonna work, so debugging might actually break right now. Oh, I can just test it in editor. So let's see. Let's talk about the style sheets quick. So let's just go find one of these canvas in-game HUD jobs display jobs HUD temp header. Cool. So what we can do is if we use that, what we're going to specify here is a style name. And so if I open up my style sheets, where is that asset? Text Mesh Pro style resources style sheets. My default style sheet. Let's bust. Oh, no. Let's bust out this inspector. So over here you can see we've got this kind of. It's like a CSS class, essentially, and you got your different names that you can call on. And if I go to my next page, this is how I actually highlight the text in the jobs and inventory when they go up and down. I highlight them green and raise the size a little bit. That's what I'm doing here. So if we use focus increase, it's going to apply these tags. The size is going to be pumped up a little bit, and we're going to use a specific color. Oh, and we're going to bold it. Uh-oh. I closed the inspector. Window. Panels. Layouts. General. Inspector. Okay, okay. Got to anchor that back where it belongs. There we go. So if we come over here, oh my goodness, having some resizing issues right now, and I put in that style, you'll see now it gets applied. The question is, can I do single quotes? No, I cannot. So in the rich text, it's got to be double quotes to define that value. Okay. So in here, I need to do, what is it? You put 2, 3, 4? No, this is just going very poorly. Shoot. There's a way to do this. Oh, wait. Am I dumb? Do I even need quotes around it? I might not need quotes. No, I don't even need quotes. What am I doing? Ah! Yep. Classic case of I'm overcomplicating things. So let's just style is dialogue. And we'll define dialogue later. And we will, before we forget, make sure to append onto the end the close. Yeah. Okay, so now got the font. We got the font stylings. We want it to be name colon text. So we will append function parameter 1 or 0. That'll be the name. And what I think we'll do is this will be extra slick. It's not gonna be the name. Maybe if I put just farmer, that's fine. It'll spit out hopefully farmer. But let's say it's not the farmer talking. Let's say it's my heir. I think I can, if I don't change anything, if I put in like @name underscore, excuse me, house player, specify my house, specify the role, specify full to get their full name. I think this will just dynamically replace it. Because the very next thing we do after we swap all this out is we check for the @. And so then that'll get hot swap. Oh, this is gonna work. Oh, this is gonna be slick. I am loving it. So that's just what we're gonna append. And then colon space to start, to put something between the name and yeah. One thing I'm seeing is maybe I want. I might do two styles. As I might want the name and colon in a different style than the text itself. So let's actually change that a little bit. We're gonna do dialogue name as a style, and we'll close it up here. And then we will append a new style. And this will give me a little bit more flexibility when we're polishing up the how this is actually going to look visually. And then don't forget to get out of here. A lot of times Visual Studios nails it on the predictive text, and sometimes it's just really in the way. And I think we just do this. And this will be great too, because if there's any dynamic operands in that text, in what they're saying, boom, we're gonna hit it right. I feel like I magooed my way into this one, but this feels like actually a very solid design that's coming together here. Okay, yeah. And then, almost forgot a crucial step. We got to return it. Perfect. Oh yeah. Um, I keep doing this. I don't need to do new string builder. I can just call new. There we go. I think this is good. I think this is gonna look good. So let's call that. Boom. We're done. Put it in my done group. Now let's build out the style sheet. We've got two style sheets to build: dialogue name and dialogue. Um, let's slide over to our default style sheet again. It's got to do a little bit of. There we go. And unfortunately, because the style sheet doesn't exist yet, I got to build this before we can test out our current changes. So let's do that though. What am I doing? Oh. Can I right-click inspector? Properties. Yeah, there we go. I actually don't really need the editor today. So we're gonna make a name, dialogue name, and we're gonna make a dialogue. So we got two parts of our style sheet. For the name, what are we gonna do for it? I think we want to. Do I want to increase the size at all? Let's start by just bolding it. That seems a nice place to start. And then for the actual dialogue, I don't think we're gonna bold it. We're gonna switch fonts and increase the size a little bit. So let's just start size with 1.5 because I think the different. Oh, I thought I just spilled my tea, but I was done with my tea. Perfect. Unpunished. The font that I've chosen for that's a little bit more it's a little bit harder to read, but it's more stylized that I want to try using for the font for any spoken lines. It's smaller, like its font size 12 is smaller than the standard and everything else's font size 12. So, gotta pump it up a little bit so I don't have to tinker with the font size. Or no, sorry, I am tinkering with the font size. That's what this. I'll just shut up. Oh, and we have to tell it to switch fonts. That was what it was. What I learned while playing around with this yesterday is we need to, if you're going to specify font in here, you have to put it, your fonts have to live in the TextMesh Pro resources, fonts, and materials folder. If they don't, it won't find it. But, mind you, let's start with the light version. And that's a long name, but that's fine. Put that there, and then for closing tags, we just got to close them up. So close up the size, and close up the font. Is there a save? Nope, there's no save button here. So let's test this out quick. On our font HUD, let's do dialogue name. Is that bolded? Oh, it's bolded by default, isn't it? Yeah, because I have bold clicked here. So unbolded. We put the style on. It's looking bold. Nice. Okay. And then if we try the other one, if we do just vanilla dialogue. Oops, dialogue. Yeah, that's the other font, so that's great. That's great. Okay, great. Put you back to just jobs and bold you here. There we go. So that's back to normal. Okay, so our style sheets look to be already working. Awesome. That's really good. So let's go ahead and let's give this a try. Before we try, we need to do a couple things though. Matter menu, I don't think we need to change at all. But we'll put a breakpoint when we come in to start replacing some text. Need to clean this up. So our end product, get that out of here. We decided on this. Yeah. Let's take out the original text. And for testing purposes, I'm going to actually have two of these. The first one we're going to test if we just have farmer. Oop, not famer. Farmer, which is going to be what I want overall. But then I want to see if the name replace works. So we'll leave that. And in this calc, we have a breakpoint earlier, so we'll step into this one relevant. But just in case, we'll put a breakpoint there. Two things left. We need to. So I don't actually read the JSON files during runtime. What I actually do with the JSON files, if I go down here in my project assets folder, is they get turned into actual assets, scriptable objects in the game files. So basically, it's pre-serialized, and I don't have to translate the JSON files into game objects, or into the sorry, not game objects, the scriptable objects. So I can do that outside of runtime. So what I need to do right now is I create a little button here, create my Liege custom assets. It goes out, looks at all the JSON files, and updates the those assets. But now if I come back here and I look at farm needs help, and we find us our dialogue, we can see, yep, we got our hashtag dialogue over here. This is going to be important because I also want to double check. Just this has been proven already, but actually no, we didn't touch anything, so this should never get replaced. That's fine. Last thing before we test this out is we actually need to touch our debugger. Typically, I don't start with the debugger attached. I like to see if I can just get no-scoped working first try, but for the video, we'll start with the debugging because this was pretty code-centric changes. Let's find out. Let's find out if it works. Check my checklist. Step 3. Okay. Right off the bat, we're trying to load the menu. Before loading, we gotta calculate our stuff. The title has nothing to replace. This will, though. Also, this technically we were editing the string replace function. Right now we're about to call calculate string replace list. All that does is for each item in the array we pass in, we just call calculate string replace over and over. So we'll get there. The first string we're talking about is got nothing in it. So we'll skip that. This one has our first dialogue option. So I'm going to step in here. We got our updated text. So this is what our result's going to be. So I'm going to pin this. This is what we're going to pass back to the rich text box at the end of the day. It contains a hashtag, so we'll step in. Begin index 0. Yep, that tracks. End index 96. I'm not about to count, but I know we can bring it in here. And if I put the caret column 97. Oh, but Notepad++ starts at 1, not 0. So 97 is 96 in C#. Excellent. Okay, great. We don't have an exception. So this should find us. It's going to be the whole. Oh, it's the whole thing, but we don't have the end parenthesis. We lost that. And string function is what we want to replace at the end of the day, right? Yeah, okay. So this we need to... Can I just do +1? No, it's going to be upset at that. Huh. Okay. We'll revisit this. So now we're in trouble because I'm gonna trim this, and I'm pretty sure this is gonna have everything except the last period. Let's just let it run though and see how close we got. So function parts. Let's pin these. Yep, we lost our period. And then for this, how are we looking for our parameters? We need more help in the field where error freezes. Yep, missing our period. That's fine. These parameters are looking pretty good though. We got the name. Okay. Yeah, this is great. This is great. Other than we trimmed something off. Our function name should be dialog. Great. So start our string builder. Our end value here. We got our dialog name, farmer with a colon. Nice. My lord, we need more help. Blah, 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 blah. Air it. Okay, there we go. Awesome. Leave the switch statement. And then our updated text, I'll pin again down here. Turns into this, which is going to have that extra parenthesis on the end, right? Oh. Yeah, that parenthesis shouldn't be there. Okay, not too bad. We don't have any @ signs, so we skip it. We skip this part, and we return it. Okay. Nice. So we already know We have one error. Let's see. Let's make sure that the name replace stuff, or in theory, works. So this one's gonna have same issues. But our function parts now have the at name. So our name parameter is a dynamic operand, which dynamic operand is the term I'm using within my Liege. I don't think that that's a term in C#. If you're curious where I was coming up with that. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. So now the value, it just got it in there, but we got the colon. Um, great, great, great. And then we're done with hashtags. But we see an @ sign, so now we're going to come in here and we're going to replace the name, which I think is pretty solid logic, right? Oh, ooh, that clean operand function that I thought was a waste of time for our earlier stuff is actually still relevant here. But because we put that colon on the end, I guess clean operand, I do not have support for colon yet. And I don't, this isn't going to work on this runtime. But we got to add this in while we're thinking about it. Doop, 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 doop. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, this didn't go through on this runtime. That's fine. So now it's going to complain. We're actually going to run into an error here because full colon is not a supported name type or name format, which is fine because we got something else to clean up. But hey, that was looking really good. We didn't no scope it. No big deal. Honestly, the over/under on any new functionality or how many errors it's going to have is usually around 3.5 for me. So, 2 errors, not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. Let's see. We need, and actually I'm glad it keeps this. End index. So this is spitting out right there. Can I put this in parentheses and just +1? So we'll put a note there. We'll take that off because we don't want it. We don't need to trim it off. And then the rest of this should work. And you want me to use that same syntax as before. Do I like it? Yeah, I like it. There we go. Okay, so that should fix that issue. And then we already fixed the colon issue later on. So let's hit save and let's give it a rip. Let's run it again. Run it back. I'm hopeful. This is looking good. This is looking good. This is also a pretty long video. Because I don't, other than that one section, I don't really see where I'm going to speed this up at all. Which is fine. Kind of talked our way through the code a lot, so if I might rewatch it if there's any boring bits, still speed that up and you'll have kind of like cartoon voice me. Which might be humorous. We'll find out. Okay. I like how I'm talking about how I'm going to edit the video, but by the time you get to this point in the video, you already know if I did the cartoon voice thing. Um, so it's not gonna be a surprise. It's only a surprise to me. So, yeah, think about that. Okay, we're in here. 0, 96, just as we had thought. Um, string function. Okay, it's got the parenthesis on the end. That's great. Great news. Our function parts does not have the parenthesis, which is good. We don't want it there. It would ruin our text. Okay, okay. Let's go. Let's go. Farmer, my lord, blah, blah, blah. Build that string. Pass it back. Style, dialogue, farmer. No parenthesis. That's looking great. Okay. And then round 2. With the dynamic name replacement. Looking good. Looking good. Build that string. Move that truck. Now we're doing in the dynamic operand. We didn't write this today. This is existing stuff that's been working very solidly before. And the operand full is a valid name format in my setup. So boom. We've got our air name, Thorin Stormwind, which I know Stormwind's a WoW thing. Somebody inform me later. We're going to be changing that. So now our updated text reads Thorin Stormwind : style, my lord. Oh, this is looking great. This is looking great. Return it. And now at this point, my dialogue. Got our 2. Oh, this is great. F5 it. Silly. Let's send it. Okay. That's a little on the large side. But I'm liking this. Now we're going to learn something. Can I edit these on the fly? Or will it get mad at me? So, like, if I just tone down the size over here. Okay, we can edit these on the fly. Awesome! Oh, is it going to save or is it going to roll back with the scene? Technically, these aren't on game. Like, the style sheet isn't in the scene, so we'll find out. But we'll just copy the values just in case. So now we have decisions to make. This is great. How do we want to format this? Another thought is, like, do we want to italicize it? Oops. That seems excessive. Let's not italicize it, but what about bold it? How's this font look bolded? My lord, we need more help. And then, do I want to just slightly increase the name size? I mean, to make sure this is working. Oh, yeah. What if we don't bold it? No, I think it needs to be bolded. That's too big. That's just obviously too big. 1.5? 1.5 though, that might not be too big. And then one other thing that I was curious about, and we'll have to find the object in the hierarchy over here to test this out, is do I want space? So I'm digging through the scroll view. There we go. And this would be something we'd have to do in code, but like, that might be cleaner. That might be, that might be cleaner. And we would just need to, there we go. Like if this was actually a conversation between two people, I think this is where I want to be. So we'll pop back in here. And when we add in the name colon, this should be an append line. So append line will put a new line character at the end of what we just appended. So let's try that. Oh, sometimes this happens to me where things get worked up. We don't need to be debugging anymore though. Game kind of poops its pants. If I make certain changes while it's trying to play in the background. Why is normal over? Was normal always this like this? No, it just went away. What the? Oh, not gonna think too hard about that. So I think yeah, dialogue name. Let's leave it a little bit bigger. We still need a dialogue itself bigger too to match the vanilla. Well, actually, if we're putting it on its own line, let's tone down the dialogue name for a moment. And I think we're gonna leave this bolded. I think I liked it bolded. Let's try this one more time. And then as long as we like it, we'll wrap it up here. Because what was it like not bolded? That's real thin. The other option I have actually is I do have another font available to me. Because I'm using the light version. What if I swap it for the second version? I don't remember how different that is. Oh, it's heavy already. So if I did this version, we could probably take the bolding off. Okay. We're gonna do some side-by-side testing. Dialogue to copy, copy. Dialogue 1 is gonna be other font bolded. Oh, the original font we were using. Let's grab that. Font equals. Pop that in. And then what we need to do is on the fly here, go find our dialogue again. And we'll just have the second set be our test 2. It's really not that different. um, what if we take the first option and we unbold it? I don't hate that. I'm actually leaning towards dialogue too. It's not bolded, it's just what the font is. And that's pretty legible. This first version almost looks more like handwritten script, like, which isn't a bad thing either. Hmm. What if I let's change one more thing. With it on a separate line, what if I um dialogue name? What if we unbold that? And then idea, one more idea. I take away the paragraph spacing. Hmm. We're getting a little too close where like the name, there's not enough gap there. So if I take away the paragraph spacing, oh, we can fix that though. So like if I like this for separating chunks, I could then though, I think on the dialogue name, uh let's see. Um I'm looking for supported tags. What would this be? The line height? Or would that be some of the rest of the text? Space it looks like it's horizontal. Yeah, it's horizontal. Hmm. Vertical offset's interesting. But I think character space, no. Um, I guess I could do a line break. That could be one way to add in more space than normal. That's a lot. That's a lot more than normal. Um, let's see. Line height equal to 0.5. Just a second. let's let's see what that looks like if we actually close it. That looks bad. That looks real bad. Okay, that's not a percentage. That's oh, I can do percent. I can do like 50%. So this way, it like hugs up with the text it's associated with a little bit more, but no, that's there's no reason to change that part way through, you know? So, um, yeah, let's take that out. I thought I'd be able to change what the paragraph height would be. I guess if I can, I'll figure it out later. I'll have some like, oh, whoops, I'm dumb moment, but that's fine. Um, I think this is good for now. Time to make a decision and just run with it. If this is going to be the text that I have normally, I want probably the same line thickness, even if I'm switching fonts, because this otherwise will just get lost. So let's go with option 2 that we've laid out. So that's what we'll keep. So this one we can remove. Is that, oh, the minus sign? And then dialogue 2 becomes dialogue. And we don't even remember that the other one existed. Okay. That is looking pretty good, I would say. Actually just put it there. There we go. Wow, that was unnecessarily complicated for a while. Okay, that looks great. The last thing, and I don't think I'm gonna cover it right now, is do we want the speech bubbles? So the tricky thing with the speech bubbles is one that is another layer of complexity that the code is definitely not handling yet. Like, because one, I would need to pass, I would need to say, hey, this text needs to show up in a speech bubble, but I don't know if I'd want it formatted the same way. You know, name, colon, blah, blah, blah. I guess I could. Um, but I'd have to get that information, that single string, to the dialog box, which is not what's happening when we call this function. What's happening when we call this function, we're just building a string array so that the menu later can use it. So we would need a way when we're clicking next dialog and saying, hey, what are we appending? We would need a way for it to register, hey, we're doing something with dialogue. Get that information over to um the dialogue bubbles over the meeple, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Basically, the way that's happening right now is like I have like an updated visor script that displays dialogue. I'd have to make this a little bit more generic to update a meeple and tell it which meeple on the screen is going to display some dialogue. Currently, like I said, it's formatted differently. Right now, the advisor dialogue is displaying their name, title, and opinion. So I'd have to think, do I want that to always happen? I don't know. This is a tough one. So I think right now we're going to stay away from it. Um, and I think it might just be too busy. However, that will definitely be on my kind of like, let's think about it as we're working on the game kind of thing. And especially if I have more traditional dialogue in my matters currently, you know, in the current demo that's on Steam, that's not really a thing. We have some quoted lines that I just put quotes around. There's not a lot of talking back and forth though. And if I find a story element where it'd be a lot easier to tell a good story if I could do that, then I think that would be enough situations like that would push me to actually build out something for the thought bubbles to show up more. This, though, I think is it hit all the boxes for me. It's calling out dialogue in the matter body very nicely. It's very flexible. Because if I can now get this formatting anywhere. It doesn't have to just be in that spot on that menu. Anywhere where I can call calculate string replace, which is anywhere because this is a static class, um, I can get that formatting, which is slick. Um, I mean, look at it here. We use it for the option text on the buttons. I also use it in the advisors uh, window. Um, so yeah, I think, and actually I might want to use that dialogue style sheet here on the opinion. Now, like I said, the current this is going to this opinion is going to the speech bubble, so I don't know if we would use the same. I think I might just hard code something here to say, hey, use this style sheet. But that's the thing too, is all I have to do is say style sheet, and the style, blah blah blah. And then if I'm unhappy, like we were just doing here, I can tweak it very easily. So I think this came out as a very elegant solution. I ended up, who is talking? Um, Very straightforward. I can have a value that is just relevant for only that matter, or I can do a dynamic name lookup like I do everywhere else. No problems. It is zippered in very nicely. I'm very happy with how that turned out because honestly, I didn't even label that as a concern when we started off today. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how this turned out. What are we at? This one is almost a 2-hour endeavor. We'll see how I can edit it down. Hey, added in a small chunk of functionality to in 2 hours. Fully tested. Can't complain about that. And I get to go eat dinner, or not dinner. I get to go eat lunch now. And I don't have a problem rattling around in my head. So all in all, a great under construction session. Get in the comments. You got any suggestions on how to format these videos differently? If you would prefer some background music, or hell, if you have suggestions on what you'd like to see me work on and make a video about. In the future, not soon, but in the future, I know I'm going to be doing like an episode on reworking the trees to have the wind effect. That's going to be a fun time. And then another one that I want to do is play around trying to make a better water effect for this river, which that's not that important. Well, in the new map, as you guys saw, if you watched episode 1 of Under Construction, big, the river is a lot bigger, and then there's the bay. The water is going to be a little bit more relevant. So, want to do a little bit of a better job displaying water. At the same time, this will work if we need to. So, but yeah, if you got any ideas, holler. Otherwise, have a great day.